Going on, hockey fans? Peter from YHH here with this week's edition of the Games of the Week. We're coming at you live from my wife's music room slash office slash storage room. There's golf clubs and a vacuum over there. But hey, don't worry about it. We're about to tell you the Games of the Week for both boys high school and girls high school hockey. A couple of the games are going to kick off in just a couple of hours. Bear with us. That's what happens when you grind from sun up to it looks to be about sundown, because it's like 4:30 right now and the sun goes down starting at 2 o'clock. But first, before we get into any of the good stuff, I'm going to tell you about the best stuff. Titan battle gear. Like the great Wu-Tang Clan said, protect your neck. So keep it cool, man. Wear Titan battle gear to protect your neck, protect your wrist. HECC certified. It'll protect every one of those little arteries you've got here. And I've also got something in my pocket. When I was a kid, kids used to collect Pokemon cards. You wanted a Charizard. You wanted a Charizard holographic so bad, but right now, I think I've got what I would call a royal flush. I have coupons here from Titan Battle Gear. Titan is serious about saving you money on your protective equipment now. Let's get into the good stuff. Why am I wearing this silly hat? It says STP. What does that even mean? You're going to find out at the end here. But first, we're going to begin with a game that's going to take place tonight at 7 o'clock in the beautiful little village of Lakeville, Minnesota. Cretin-Derham Hall travels to Lakeville South on the boys' side. The Raiders 1-2 last week defeated Eastview for their first win of the season and then lost to Hermantown by a final score of 6-3. The second loss for the Raiders against a top-tier Class A opponent by the score of 6-3. They lost to Hibbing Chisholm in the opening game of the season. Johnny Blado, the sophomore Phenom, is on a tear. He's got 5 goals and 7 points through 3 games. That means he's got 5 of the Raiders' 11 goals this season, and he's factored into 7 of the team's 11 goals. The Raiders have been outscored 5-2 during the third period during those losses, so the Raiders need to tighten up in that final frame against the Cougars. The Cougars 0-1 this season, lost to number 3 Minnetonka 6-3. The Cougars allowed 4 goals in the opening period against the Skippers. The leading scorer for the Cougars is Rochester Century John Marshall transfer number 24 Calvin O'Reilly. He had 3 points in the season opening loss, factoring into all 3 of the Cougars' goals if you can do math. O'Reilly had 45 points last season for Rochester Century John Marshall and 13 points for Twin Cities Orthopedic during Elite League play this fall. So he's somebody to keep an eye on for the Cougars. On the Class A side, also taking place tonight, that's Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, up at the Gardens in Warroad. Number 6 East Grand Forks is going to take on number 5 Warroad. This is a true Class A dandy on a Tuesday night. We almost lost the camera, but that's okay, we're back. The Green Wave, 2-1 on the season, lost to Delano in the opener, 5-1, and then back-to-back wins over Rivertown rivals Grand Forks Red River and Grand Forks Central by scores of 5-2 and 3-2. The leading scores for East Grand Forks, Nolan Muhlebreck, gosh, I hope I'm saying that correctly, 4 assists so far, and Max Bees has got 2 goals and 4 points. The Green Wave obviously beat Warroad in last year's Section A final, a thriller in overtime. As for Warroad, the Warriors 2-2 on the season, also lost to Delano in their opening game 3-1, and then defeated St. Cloud Cathedral and Bemidji, 2 wins in 3 games, a loss with 2 Moorhead sandwich between those two. Leading scorers for the Warriors, number 7, Gavin Anderson, he's got 4 points, and Avon Hontvet also has 4 points. Pat Kennedy, he stopped 22 of 23 in the win over Bemidji. In his only action this year, maybe we see a rotation with Finn Hansen. Patrick Kennedy with a great game against the Lumberjacks. Wednesday, 7 o'clock. It's an East Side rivalry. I might try to sneak over to this one. It's on my side of the river. Number 2, Hill Murray takes on number 7 in Class A, Mahtomedi. The Pioneers 1-1 this season. A 7-4 win over Eden Prairie. Very nice. A 2-2 tie with Hermantown. Not so nice. You don't like ties. 4 players for the Pioneers have 3 points apiece. John Whistler, Ryland DeMars, Brady Morrell, and Landon Samper, all with a trio of points. This is the start of a 3-game away stretch for Hill Murray, although considering the proximity between Hill Murray and Mahtomedi, is it really a road game? is it? As for the Zephyrs, 1-1 so far, a 6-3 win over Centennial and a 3-2 overtime loss to Blaine. Vinny Redpath leads the Zephyrs in scoring with 6 points. Braden First, hope I'm saying that correctly, First has 4 points. And then a stat I'd like to point out, Mahtomedi does a fantastic job of tracking individual statistics. Cale Brummel leads the team with 5 blocked shots. When the Zephyrs win, they tend to do it with a really staunch defense and 5 blocked shots. That seems just about right. 5 consecutive home games on deck for the Zephyrs. Mahtomedi, one of the underrated sort of machines in Minnesota high school hockey. They always seem to find guys. Coach Jeff Pochel does an excellent job of maximizing the talent he's got for the high school season. Should be a dandy between the Pioneers and the Zephyrs. Thursday at 7 o'clock, we've got a top 10 battle between number 3 Minnetonka and number 10 Stillwater. Speaking of high school hockey machines, Minnetonka 3-0-1. So far. Now, a couple of these teams might have games before these games. It's not a big deal. I did my research on Tuesday. I'm not gonna do this day by day. A 6-3 win over Lakeville South to start the year. A 2-2 tie with White Bear Lake, and then back-to-back 3-0 shutouts over the holiday weekend over Rogers and Shakopee. That's 4 quality opponents that the Skippers have started the year with. Max Aronson leads the team in scoring with 5 points. First-year high school player Cash Hardy has been all that and a bag of chips with 4 points, and Jordan Johnson's got 4 points. But somebody who should get a little bit of love, who might not, goaltender Chase Jurdy. He's 3-0. He's got a 1.00 goals against, a .959 save percentage, and he's got back-to-back shutouts in those wins over Rogers and Shakopee. As for the Ponies, a 3-2 win over Centennial. Not bad. A 6-2 win over Park Cottage Grove, expected. And a 2-0 win, upset victory over St. Thomas Academy. The Ponies lost so much after showing up last season and finishing second at the state tournament. They lost so much scoring. I don't know if that's phonetically correct, but we're going to go with it. But they just seem to find guys. It's such a deep youth association. Tate Batchelor, he's got 5 points. Tyson Miller's got 5. Teague McGlynn's got 5. And Mikey Beldy has got 5 points. So the Ponies finding scoring up and down the lineup. Gavin Bida has been outstanding this season. He's 3-0 with a 132 goals against average and a .956 save percentage, and was 36 for 36, a perfect 36 for 36 in the shutout win over St. Thomas Academy. Now, to the silly hat, which doesn't really fit my head. I have a very small head. It's kind of an odd shape. My hats never, quite crease the way I want them to, but that's okay. I love this hat. I wear it with pride. Simley at St. Paul, a Class A battle between two teams that are unranked. You might not care about this game, but I do, and I think it's very important. I am a St. Paul boy. I live here. The Spartans are going to take on the St. Paul Hockey. I don't know if there's a real nickname in the home opener for St. Paul. St. Paul Highland Park has the numbers, therefore Highland is considered the team's home rink. This will be the home opener for the St. Paul Public Schools. Home opener at the Chuck for a program that's well over 100 years old. So if you have the time, if you're a fan of high school hockey in this state, definitely try to get over the Chuck for this one. That's going to be Saturday at 2 p.m. The Spartans 2-1 this season after losing to St. Thomas Academy 14-0. The Spartans rebound with back-to-back wins over Park Rapids, 8-2 and 7-2. Dawson Schreifer, Eli Schwab, Noah Schwab, and Aiden Fischbach have 4 points apiece to be the leading scorers for the Spartans. Goaltender Owen Unglesby had 40 saves in the 7-2 win over Park Rapids on November 29th. Senior goaltender. He's going to face a lot of shots, and I think he might stop a lot of shots too. As for St. Paul, the program got its first win, 4-1 over Regis Altoona McDonald. That is a Wisconsin-based program. And then St. Paul lost 3-2 in overtime to Osseo. The leading scorers are Gavin Olson and Ian Wallace with 3 points apiece. Emery Batt is the senior goaltender. Again, this is the technical home opener for the St. Paul Public School program. All of the schools in St. Paul have coalesced into one unified front. It is going to be a big game, 2 p.m. at the Chuck. That's Charles Schulz Arena for those of you who aren't aware. Parking will be at a premium. Come on out and support public school hockey in the great city of St. Paul. That's all I got for you on the boys' side, and I'm going to do one quick edit. That's the magic of editing, and we'll be right back with the girls' games of the week. Once again, brought to you by Titan Battle Gear. Hello again, hockey fans. Moments later, we're back for the girls' high school game of the week. Once again, brought to you by our friends at Titan Battle Gear. Protect your neck. HECC certified Titan Battle Gear. It's so comfortable. I wear this onesie all the time. I wear it when I want to go to sleep. I wear it when I want to go out because it has such cool colors. There's a lot going on here. Team by team designs. Titan can do it all. Made in these beautiful United States of America. Made in Minnesota, the state of hockey and the state of Titan Battle Gear. All right, girls, high school games of the week, Thursday, 7 o'clock, way out there at Thaler Ice Arena. Number 4 in Class A, Blake, is going to take on number 8 in Class A, Westonka Southwest Christian. Last week, the Bears, who are 5-2, lost to Dodge County, bounced back with a win over Farmington. So you lose to the top team in Class A this week, but you beat a AA team and knock them out of the top 10. For the time being, something tells me the Tigers will be back. Mackenzie Williams, the leading scorer with 8 points. Ella Bond has got 6 points. But everybody who knows about girls high school hockey in the state knows that this team runs through Janie McGaughan, the Dartmouth commit. 5 of 7 games, she's made 25 or more saves. The numbers right now, a 0.86 goals against average, a 970 save percentage, and 4 shutouts. Janie McGaughan, the real McCoy, we're talking the real McGaughan here. The team, Blake, has allowed 5 of its 8 goals this season in the third period, so a little bit of a tighter third period against the Whitehawks, who are a very opportunistic team under head coach Larry Olam. Last week, the Whitehawks, after a brief hiatus, defeated North Shore and Rock Ridge by a combined score of 16-3. Ouch! The leading scorers for the Whitehawks, Lizzie Callahan, who is on fire in these 2 wins. She has 17 points this year. Braylon Kohler's got 9 points, and Georgia Harmer also has 9 points. So 9 points from Beast Mode and 9 points from Georgia Harmer, who needs a cool nickname like Beast Mode, like Braylon Kohler. The Whitehawks have a slight second period problem. Of the 10 goals they've allowed this season, 7 of them have come in the second frame. Moving on to our next game here. This will be Friday at 7 o'clock. Centennial Spring Lake Park, currently number 5 in the AA rankings, will be taking on number 6 Maple Grove. Rematch of the Section 5 AA final. Could end up being the 5 AA final again this year if the teams continue to play at the level they are. The Cougars, 5-1-1 this season. A 10-0 win over Osseo Park Center was followed up by the team's first loss of the year, 2-0 against number 2 Holy Family. Mia Such is the team's leading scorer. She's got 16 points this season, along with Lainey Gannett, and Grace Lager's got 11. Maddie Wolter's got 10. Avery Wagner's got 10. There is no shortage of scoring options here for the Cougars. The Cougars defensively have not allowed a goal in the first period. Super important to get off to a hot start, and the Cougars have managed to do that in 5 wins so far. The penalty kill at 100% for the Cougars. 100%. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. As for the Crimson, a 3-1 win over Hopkins Park was the only action last week. The Crimson have yet to score more than 3 goals in a game this season and are still somehow 5-1. I don't know how they do it. Well, I have a pretty good idea. Hadley Baker's got 8 goals and 9 points. She is by far the team's leading scorer in the goal column. Maisie Tomlinson's got 7 assists for 7 points, and Kate Fisher's got a goal and 5 assists for 6 points. Hadley Baker has 8 of the team's 13 goals. The Crimson will need another scorer eventually as we get into the dog days of the season, but as long as they have goaltender Bella Prosser, who's one of the best goaltenders her age in the country, maybe they don't need a second scorer. Maybe they can get by with just Baker. Saturday at noon, a Class A tilt for the ages, number 3 Breck, the only undefeated team remaining in the Class A top 10. Well, they're the only undefeated team. How can they be the number 1 team? Because they need a ranked win. We need a resume booster here, Mustangs. Last week, the Mustangs beat Rosemount 4-0. No shortage of scoring options here for the Mustangs either. Taylor Hall's got 14 points. Alexa Scherf has 13, and McKenna Schliemann has 10. Goaltender Clara Malinkovich has been outstanding once again. Nobody is surprised. A 5-0 record for Malinkovich, a 0.64 goals against average, a 967 save percentage, and a pair of shutouts. The Mustangs have outscored their opponents 38-4 so far this season. Ouch. The Mustangs are traveling to Warroad 4-2 this season. Last week, Warriors lost to Bemidji 2-0. A previously unranked Class 2A team, the Lumberjills, pop up to number 8, I believe, this season. I'd have to look at my own rankings. The Warriors bounce back with a 3-0 win over Andover. Jaylee French, the team's leading scorer, she's got 3 goals and 6 points. The penalty kill has been fantastic for Warroad, 14 for 14. They will need that PK unit against Breck. This could be a really aggressive game. A lot of speed on both sides and a lot of players who don't mind getting dirty in the corners. This could be considered a get-right game for Warroad. We want to see Warroad hang a crooked number on the scoreboard, unless you're a Breck fan, obviously. Also on Saturday, we have the Class 2A tilt for the ages. Number 1, Hill Murray travels to number 2, Holy Family. It's the Holy versus Holy battle, which you could also make the argument that, Holy Angels, Holy Family, Hill Murray, all the private schools here. Last week, Hill Murray defeated Edina 4-3. I was at that game. Fantastic game. Really, really fun to watch that Hill Murray defensive core of Addie McLay, Janika Holtzleiser, Olivia Bronshausen, and Taylin Engelhart. They are so much fun to watch. Leading scorers for the Pioneers, Emily Pohl, 16 points, Hannah Richley, 15 points, JC Chatlin with 14 points, who just recently committed to the University of Minnesota, and Anna Pohl. Yes, there is another Pohl. There's also another Pohl, Lucy Pohl. Anna Pohl has got 10 points. The Pioneers have scored 4 or more goals in every game this season and somehow only have taken 8 penalties in 7 games. That seems very low. As for Holy Family, back-to-back shutouts last week, 3-0 over Eden Prairie and 2-0 over Centennial Spring Lake Park. Maddie Kimbrell has taken her game to another level. She's up to 14 points this season, and then a trio of players just behind her have 8 points apiece. Addie Cowan, Chloe King, and Audrey Nichols. Goaltender Kayla Swartout, 6-0 with a 1.33 goals against, a 9.47 save percentage, and a pair of shutouts. It's going to be a bit of a University Wisconsin preview in this one. Emily Pohl is committed to Wisconsin. Maddie Kimbrell is committed to Wisconsin, and Kayla Swartout is committed to Wisconsin. So will we see a Wisconsin coach in attendance? I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Last game here on the girls' side, Saturday, 3 o'clock, and this is a fun one. This is going to be played in Hastings at the United Heroes League outdoor rink. The United Heroes League, the UHL, check them out. They do incredible things. The UHL provides sports equipment, pays for camps, subsidizes association fees, and distributes sports tickets and special experiences to military children. I can't think of a better cause. Check out the United Heroes League. Top-ranked Dodge County in Class A. Now, the Wildcats suffered their first loss of the season last week, 8-1 against Minnetonka. Ouch! But they move up to number 1 based on a couple of other losses and things just kind of falling right for the Wildcats. First game of the week, second game, whatever. 3-1 over Blake's. The Wildcats looking good coming into this one. Maisie Cook has got 16 points, and Zoe Heimer's got 15 points. Goaltender Faith Humphrey, 6-1 with a 1.49 goals against, an 8.99 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. The power play humming along at a 44.4% success rate. Dodge County also won last year's meeting between these two teams 2-1 at Dodge County. Orono, number 6 in Class A, lost to Minnetonka 2-1, bounced back with a 3-2 win over Northfield. 2 players have reached the double-digit point mark for the Spartans. Lucy Rauch and Gabby Lopez both have 10 points apiece. Viv Anderson, goaltender, also on a heater. She's 4-3 this season against really tough competition, a 1.58 goals against average, and a 9.49 save percentage. And as I said, the game is going to be played on the United Heroes League outdoor sheet, the Shields Arena in Hastings. Super, super cool. If you have a chance, you're in the South Metro, I would check out this game. It's going to be fantastic. Once again, the games of the week are brought to you by Youth Hockey Hub and our friends at Titan Battle Gear. Look at all these cool cards here. Titan Battle Gear. They are serious about protection. Made in Minnesota, made in the United States of America. They look cool. They feel cooler. Get your Titan Battle Gear protective equipment today. And thanks for tuning in for another episode of Games of the Week. We'll see you next week.